What's good, everybody, man? It's your boy Joey here, back at with another reaction video. You know what I'm saying? We got exploring the dark world of Kik messaging, bro. I remember Kik, bro, back in like 9th grade year. Bro, I'm 21, man. Back in like 9th grade year, like 2015, some shit like that. 2015, 2014, shit like that, bro. Oh my god, what? That's where you get all the hoes at, bro. Hey, you, bro. You ain't had no Kik, you a lame man, nigga. You feel me? But shit, but we got, you know what I'm saying? We gonna see what Kik turned into, bro. I heard Kik came into like a porn app or some shit. You can't even, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, like a few years ago, I think when I was like 20, and I ain't gonna lie, I low-key downloaded that shit back to see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? But I got like a bunch of unwritten messages on that shit, so you know what I'm saying. But I don't know. I delete that shit again. So I don't know if you're still using Kik, bro. Like you're old now, nigga. You're still living the past, buddy. Catch up, bitch.
Think about it. A kid downloads this app, right? Ooh, Pokemon. Let's go to Pokemon. There are right there on the app, right?
He says it's a perfect setup for offenders to find their victims.
I'm sad. That's all I'm gonna write.
He set the parameters for who he was looking to speak with, and within minutes, without reaching out to anyone, we had two apparent teenage girls reaching out to us.
Why are you sad? And right there is where you got the open door.
If you had a smartphone in the early 2010s, there's a big chance you've heard of Kik. At the time, it was the biggest messaging app on the market. If you wanted to stay in the loop with whatever cool stuff your friends were doing, Kik was your go-to option.
If you thought a girl was cute, your first word should have been, "Hey, what's your Kik?" or "Add me on Kik." Keep in mind, this was before Snapchat streaks, before Instagram DMs.
Yes, sir.
Vine was peak comedy at this time.
You could connect with strangers from all around the world within this small app, and at the time, that was huge. On the surface, Kik seemed like the perfect messenger app, but the problem was that Kik was almost entirely anonymous, meaning anything can be shared on the app, from people's darkest secrets to content no one should ever have to see. And you could have done this without fear of consequences. The same app that kept you in contact with your friends was hosting illegal markets, and dangerous of all, Preds. The worst part about it, 70% of Kik users are between 13 and 24 years old. But how deep does this rabbit hole go? It's time to dive into how this innocent app turned into chaos. Reddit, I need your help. In 2012, Kik was started by a college student named Ted Livingston. Only 1 month after launch, 30 million users joined, but the app fell drastically. Users abandoned the app, and Kik's team went from hundreds of employees to only 19. Today, you barely hear of anyone using Kik. Why? Because Kik is not safe. Ever since Kik fell out of popularity, blackmailers flooded the platform looking for unsuspecting victims to strike. In 2018, a Reddit user by the name of Tormod300 found a stranger who he thought he could trust on Kik. But little did he know, he ran into his worst nightmare. Tormod explained, "This all started around 3 weeks ago when a very realistic girl messaged me on another website. She provided me her phone number and asked that I messaged her on it. We talked on there for a while. I really got to know her."
Hold on, guys.
Switched to Kik.
Let me. I think I have to move my camera up here for y'all boys. You know what I'm saying? Let me move my shit over here for y'all boys, when y'all boys can see everything, so y'all can read everything. She asked for a
picture of his school ID, and he gave it to her. This ID had his name, picture, and student ID number. This next decision turned out to be this Redditor's biggest mistake. Getting more comfortable with this girl, Tormod sent inappropriate images of himself to her, and that's when the trouble began. The girl began demanding money from him, and if he didn't comply, she would send his photos to his school. Freaking out, Tormod took to Reddit for advice. I was still terrified, and was for several days, always afraid that the scammer would send the pictures just to spite me. However, as those days passed, nothing happened.
Why the fuck are you sending pictures of your dick? Why the fuck you sending pictures of your dick? That's your fault, nigga.
Weeks turned into
so who's the victim, the female or the nigga? Because I wasn't listening. Hold on.
That's when the trouble began. I really got to know her, and we eventually switched to Kik. She asked for a picture of his school ID, and he gave it to her.
Yeah, but why you sending a picture of your dick?
This ID had his name, picture, and student ID number. This next decision turned out to be this Redditor's biggest mistake. Getting more comfortable with this girl, Tormod sent inappropriate images of himself to her, and that's when the trouble began. The girl began demanding money from him, and if he didn't comply, she would send his photos to his school. Freaking out, Tormod took to Reddit for advice. I was still terrified and was for several days, always afraid that the scammer would send the pictures just to spite me. However, as those days passed, nothing happened. I began to relax. Days turned into weeks, weeks turned into months, and months turned into
Why are you sending pictures of your
nothing
dick?
has happened to me since. This Redditor was one of the lucky
To
ones,
anybody,
but not
dog.
everyone can be as lucky. Especially because a platform like
Honestly,
this
bro.
has very little
Honestly, bro.
moderation.
Honestly, me personally, bro. I feel bad if your news out there get exposed and shit like that. But why you're out here sending your shit to anybody, dog? Like, that's when I don't feel bad for you. You know what I'm saying? Cause bro, use your head, bro. Like, you don't know this person. You never met this person in real life, and you're sending your dick. The fuck? Like, bro, that's when I don't feel bad. I feel bad. Don't get me wrong. I feel bad. But at the same time, though, you low-key fucked up too, nigga. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, come on now. Like, what the
And
fuck
with
are you doing?
70% of Kick's user base being young, it's a dangerous combination, and we did an experiment to prove it. The experiment. So, we made a Kick account. We named this account Jason, and he was 13. We searched for a group and found a public chat where you can talk to up to 100 people. Right away, you see inappropriate content everywhere in this group. And once you join, it only gets worse. As soon as we hit the join button, our inbox was flooded with inappropriate content and images. Even for some adults, these images are shocking. But what if I told you that this is the experience of almost every Kick user when opening the app, regardless of their age?
Think about it. A kid downloads this app, right? Ooh, Pokemon. Let's go to Pokemon. There are there. There are right there on the app, right?
Since Kick's moderation team is so small, it seems like there's almost no one filtering suspicious accounts. And in 2021, they added live streaming to the app. This brought even
What?
more suggestive content to an app filled with young people.
Back in 2013, it was just a texting app. That was it. The live section is extremely and revolves around girls getting money from simps, or guys too.
Instead of Kick tightening their moderation, they encourage parents to add restrictions to their children's phones themselves. Every now and then, Kick will ban an account, but most of the time, people are allowed to do and say whatever they want. And in this next topic, a user took advantage of someone from Kick in real life. I want to take you to the woods. Before we continue, I want to talk to you guys about today's sponsor, Brilliant.org. So I'm a hands-on learner. I remember in high school mapping, and the problem was it has thousands of minutes, or Brilliant's annual premium subscription. Click the link to get started today, and thank you a ton to Brilliant for sponsoring this video. This is MB. To many, he was just a regular user on Kick, but to people who actually knew him, he was their worst nightmare. This story takes place in 2013 when Kick was still early in its life. Many people were still unaware of the dangers of this app. At some point during the year, a conversation started between MB and a young girl on Kick. MB would tell the girl he was 16 and they talked for a few weeks. Eventually, MB convinced the girl to meet him in real life. Little did she know that meeting this boy was a big mistake. MB was actually 20, but the girl had no way of knowing this. At some point during their meeting, MB would lead this girl into the woods and they would do things. And MB recorded everything on his phone. Luckily, the girl reported MB to the police and he was arrested. While in custody, law enforcement checked his phone. It turns out this wasn't the first time MB did this. In fact, the police found at least 3 other girls who he recorded on his phone and they were all young. In a letter to the judge, MB apologized to the victim's family. Unfortunately, at the time, I completely lacked insight into the severity of my actions. I pursued females who were a couple years younger because they were easier for me to talk to and they were more easier impressed by me being older. He's now serving up to 30 years. Taylor's story. The problem is that young people sometimes don't know right from wrong, just like Taylor. Young people are a huge target for creeps on any platform. When we were young, all we wanted to do was feel loved by people. The creeps on Kick love taking advantage of this. In a 2018 investigation by BBC, there were over 1,000 cases of this nature on Kick, and that's only the ones being investigated. BBC outlined a story of a person who they call Taylor.
Start off with a lot of just like selfies, but then it would escalate to like photos. It would like photos. You can't explain it. It's you rely on them. You rely on the compliments for all of your self-worth.
Like many others, she was taken advantage of on Kik. When asked how many men have approached her, her response was shocking.
Over 100, possibly up to 200, yeah.
Another girl spoke out about her experience too. She explained that getting on Kik was her first mistake. As a kid, I knew that the attention I was getting from people was wrong, but I was underconfident, in need of validation and attention. Grooming is rampant on Kik, and the fact that people can stand behind the shield of anonymity allows them to believe that they can get away with anything. It's the perfect app for illegal activity. The black market. Because chats aren't saved on Kik servers, dealers of illegal items use Kik to advertise their products. According to a study compiled by the Coalition Against Abuse, almost half of dealers on Instagram use Kik as a method of contact for facilitating sales. And thousands of buyers flock to Kik to get their fixes. And sometimes, buyers wouldn't just use money to buy them. A man named JM used Kik to collect dozens of videos of young people, but it wasn't just for himself. Once he acquired these photos, he traded them with people to get his substances. He was finally arrested, but so many other people just like him are still on the platform. The Kik message that sparked fear. The last thing you would expect is for a young kid to be capable of ending the lives of those around him. But it turns out that this person who was bullied planned on doing just that. In 2018, a 15-year-old from New York was sending messages that sparked fear to his classmates online. The boy was apparently being bullied by his peers and was fed up with it. In a Kik message group that comprised people from his school, the boy wrote that he was sick of being bullied and that he was gonna take care of things. Kik decided to take action. When Kik was alerted about the situation, Kik contacted the proper authorities. When law enforcement caught up with the kid, they found that he bought a proof vest. They also found out that he attempted to buy more military equipment online. Michael Perez, a father of a 5-year-old boy who lives 2 blocks away from the school, also said that he was afraid to send his child off to school every day. We live in an age where kids' lives revolve around the internet. It's just insane to see how much it affects the way kids act.
That's why you gotta monitor your shit, bro. I'm telling you, bro. That's why you gotta monitor your phone, your child's phone, bro. Like, bro, honestly, you might have to go back to the days when we had to get on phones to like high school days, bro. Honestly, to be honest, bro, like, what the fuck? Like, to give it a buck, bro, like, what the like, damn, bro. Honestly, I might give my child a phone at an early age, but nigga, I am monitoring that shit, bro. Nigga, I'm monitoring that shit. Anything you look up online, bitch, I have to know, bitch. Oh God, I'm not trying to be like no lockdown parent or strict parent. I'm not trying to be like, no, I'm not going to be like a lockdown or strict as parent. You know what I'm saying? But like these kids can be saying anything to each other these days and looking up anything these days, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like a little jit should not know what the fuck porn is, dog. Like what the fuck? A little person should not know what the fuck porn is, bro. Like, come on now, bro. Keep it a buck.
Going to school before the internet. When I was in school, this didn't occur much. If you were bad, your parents disciplined you. If you were bullied, your parents would go to the school and they'd deal with it. Nowadays, it's gone horribly wrong. Even though no one was hurt, this incident really shook the community. Kik prevented this one incident, but knowing how small Kik's team is, many cases like this get ignored until it's too late. r/KikPals. There's a Reddit community called r/KikPals, and people use this subreddit to find friends on Kik. It seemed like a great idea at first, because you wouldn't have to rely on Kik's sketchy groups to find people. Most importantly, the subreddit allowed people of all ages to participate. But then, this rule changed.
You may notice that the final rule explains how users must be 18 plus to participate in the subreddit. This rule was just added 12 days ago and explains how minors aren't allowed to post their ads here.
In October of 2022, the admins of the subreddit posted an update announcing that the rules were changed. In the post, they claimed the reason was so they could clean up this community. But from what? A YouTuber named Gubby looked through this subreddit and found some posts I can only describe as weird.
Good morning. I was wondering if someone could brighten up my day today. I'm kinda stressed and exhausted and I wanna have a good cuddle and maybe we can go deeper. You know what I mean.
And if you think that's bizarre, check this one out.
Just hanging out at home. Hubs is working and the kids are gone, so pretty quiet here. Please only 21 plus and bonus if you could send a pic.
It's so sad that these lonely people will go to these lengths. And even though they didn't make it clear why it turned into an adult-only subreddit, I think these posts speak for themselves. The forbidden community. With all the young people on Kik, it's not surprising that the worst types of people will come to take advantage of them. These monsters trade pictures of young people directly on Kik. A former CP trader, codenamed Doc, came forward to tell his story about the picture trading community on Kik. He started off trading inappropriate pictures of adults, but eventually got pushed into trading pictures of people younger. At first, some of the stuff I saw made me horrified. Like, who would even keep this around? And why would people send me this when I didn't even ask for it? But over time, the shock wore off, and Doc began to trade these in Kik groups. And this is what happens often. People usually make a gradual shift until they've lost all their morals. Another story involves a Kik user very similar to Doc, but worse. In October of 2016, this user named Bossier Cops Suck would start a discussion with another user. Little did Bossier know that the user he was talking to was an undercover FBI agent. Bossier told the agent that he had photos of his infant daughter. After talking back and forth, he sent these pictures to the agent. He was arrested and is now serving 25 years. This story ends well. The criminal was caught before more damage was done. But in this next topic, the events that happened on Kik left a Virginia family with irreversible damage. I just wanted to make friends. This is Nicole L. Nicole downloaded Kik and began to chat with people on the platform. She planned on meeting new friends, but instead of meeting a friend, she found a person that would turn her world upside down. You see, Nicole was born with a damaged liver and needed a transplant before her first birthday. Now as a teenager, she still needed her anti-rejection medication every day to survive. Her illness and surgical treatment left Nicole with scars, and according to her mother, Nicole had emotional scars as well. Because of her condition, she was bullied in school, so she turned to Kik to make friends. One of her classmates said that Nicole, who was only 13, was even dating someone online, and Nicole wanted to keep meeting new people. So on January 27th, 2016, Nicole snuck out of her house at night, only bringing her phone and her favorite blanket. In the morning, her parents realized she was missing, and their panic set in. Her parents alerted the police and the search began. Law enforcement found out that Nicole was using Kik. They sent out a request to Kik to access her account and found out she was talking with a Kik user named Dr. Tombstone. She left the house to meet him, and his real name was David.
The investigation led us to 18-year-old David E. Eisenhower, a Virginia Tech student.
David didn't want anyone to find out that he was in a relationship with Nicole, so David contacted a friend named Natalie who helped them out. They both spent weeks planning on how they were going to end Nicole's life. David and Natalie were finally arrested, but when they were asked where Nicole was, neither of them could talk. But it didn't matter because soon after, the police located Nicole 90 miles away from where she lived, and her life was ended by this Kik user, David. Natalie said that she was excited to be part of something secretive and special, but David is now serving 50 years and Natalie 40. Although justice was served, Nicole's family will never be the same again. Kik seems to be giving a platform for these horrible people to thrive, and because of their small moderation team, they can't catch everything. The internet is the most powerful tool we have for creating a more open and connected world. But please, be mindful of the people who you trust online. As helpful as the internet can be, it's also just as dangerous. The cases we've talked about aren't meant to scare you, but to give you the knowledge to spot these sick people and avoid them. Share this video with your friends and family so we can spread awareness about the dangers of the internet and help keep our loved ones safe, one video at a time. Visual Venture. Wait, before you go, click this playlist right here to watch more dark internet documentaries.
Hey man, that's what they say, bro. Man, I know y'all niggas be seeing them weird ass Instagram texts, Instagram DMs when the motherfuckers hit you with a hello. You know what I'm saying? But like, the motherfuckers be hitting you with a hello. You know, especially niggas that be scamming, bro. On God, bro. Oh my God, bro. Bro, please, bro. if you're watching this video, if you make it to the end of this video, bro, if you see an Instagram DM, bro, and that motherfucker hit you with that hello, bitch, I do not, we not, bro, bro, oh my gosh, bro, bro, you know what's so crazy, bro? I almost got hacked, bro. I almost got hacked on Instagram, bro. Like, bro, oh my God. That shit was crazy. I almost got hacked on Instagram, bro. Almost. But, shit. That's it, y'all, man. If y'all boys fuck with that shit, make sure y'all leave a like, comment, and subscribe to y'all boy, man. You know what I'm saying? More shit is on the way, bro. And I love y'all boys. Peace. I love y'all. Shit.